So I made a video probably about a year ago talking about makeup I'm going to bring to college, and I might actually do an updated version of that because I have new makeup, my makeup style changed, and I have one more year of college left, so I might as well milk that content. In that video, I realized that a lot of people ended up clicking on the video because I was explaining what makeup I had brought to college using this container. It's big, from IKEA. It's the Saxborga storage box. I honestly tried to look up how to pronounce that, but nothing came up. So I'm gonna stick with that. In this video, I'm gonna give you a little bit more in-depth information about the organizer and also my feelings about it, my thoughts and feelings, how useful I find it is, and in general, if I like it for college. So this organizer is a cork and composite built or made organizer. So this is what this plasticky material they classify as wood plastic composite. To me, what that means is it's plastic. It feels like plastic. It might not technically be plastic, I don't know, but it has the feel and the durability of plastic. The cork then comes in from this part here, which goes on top of the organizer as its sort of lid. So this is actually cork. It has a hole here for ease of picking up from the bucket itself, and on the other side it has a mirror. It's the same size as this essentially, but it's gonna look like I'm showing you the phone if I show you the mirror, so I'm gonna skip that. So for $24.99 USD, you're going to get 4 different pieces of this organizational component. So you're getting this round dish, which in general will sit on top of the lid, on top of the cork. And for this, I will just put basic things like maybe my eyebrow mascara or jewelry or anything that I will reach for frequently. Then you have this cork tray, which acts like a tray, or on the other side, as I said, has a mirror on it. And then you have this piece, which is the lid to the main component. So this comes off. And this has 4 sections, so 2 smaller ones, 1 long middle one, and a little bit of a skinnier side one. I usually put a lot of my eye products in this one because it's a little shallow, and when you put the lid on it, it's going to be even shorter. So when you set the cork piece on here, it's going to sit on these, dividers. So you really don't actually have as much height as you might think you would have. And then last but not least is the main big component. This one's looks fairly deep. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little divided storage areas. And like I said with the top of the lid, this one you have a little bit less height. You can see it's taking off a couple of centimeters from actually the inside of the container, but it's not as bad as this top part. And this is the section where I really put most of my makeup, put most of my base products and such like that. I'm also able to stand up foundations because it is really quite a tall container. You can fit quite a few bulk items in here. So one of the attractive things of this organizational container is that it also could serve as a sort of vanity if you're traveling or, like I said, at college. So you have these dividers here, and the idea is that you take your mirror, which is on, as I said, on the other side, and you sit it here. So you can sit this on your desk and you have a mirror looking at you that you can use to do your makeup and anything else you want to do with it. So in theory, that's a good addition. I didn't find that I used it too much. I also brought a different mirror with me, so if you are trying to really cut down on things you bring, it's a good option. The mirror is very nice and clear. So some of the pictures on the IKEA website have some fairly tall things sitting in either one of these containers, and while, as I said, you can put some fairly tall things in here, they still have to be short enough where you can put the lids on top of each other, because the point is that they're stackable. Now, if you are planning on having most of the pieces separated for most of the time you're at college or at home or whatever, then that's not a big deal. Obviously, you can have items as tall as you want if you're not going to stack them. But just keep in mind, your items are going to have to be fairly short to be able to use the stacking ability, essentially. So how did I find this storage container to be in general over my whole year of using it at college? Honestly, I enjoyed it, but it's not a need, and there are really bags that you can use or that you could buy that would serve the same purpose. I often found that it was kind of frustrating to try to fit everything in flat enough so that I could stack all the layers together. This obviously wouldn't be a problem if you don't bring as much makeup and skincare and jewelry and such, but for me, I brought a fair amount. You can look back at my video to see what I ended up bringing. So you kind of have to play Tetris a little bit with your items when you take them all out and put them all back in, which can get a little frustrating if, again, as I said, you bring a little bit too much. That being said, if you have a small collection, then I honestly would see this being very worth it to you. For everyday makeup, for if all of your makeup fits in this container, this would be really fantastic. It keeps everything in a very organized box, and it doesn't take up that much room. I think I mentioned before, I keep my makeup in one of those tri-tiered carts. If you really could manage to downsize and to minimalize your makeup, this is a fantastic way to help you do that and to help you organize it. And also, getting this to college was really easy. I just literally duct taped around it and it was perfectly fine. I wasn't worried about anything falling out. It's completely sturdy. There's no cracks or anything on it. And as I've said, I've had it for a year. So this wood composite plastic material is very sturdy, and I really am not worried about it breaking anytime soon. I also forgot to mention that the bottom of this circle dish has these lines here, and it kind of behaves like a train track. So they're equidistant to these lines, and you just line them up and it sits nicely on the tray. So it's on that medium-sized tray, and it also works on this large-sized tray. But just again, remember, when you do something like this, you kind of limit how tall of an item you can put in these bigger trays. I was just going over some of the reviews for this container, which, by the way, I'll link down below. But someone had mentioned that there was a horrific smell when they got it, and it just completely reminded me about that experience. So when I got this and unpackaged it, I ordered it, so I didn't go in person and get it. I unpackaged it, and for some reason, it had like the most weird smell of bacon, and that's the only way I can explain it. This person says it smells like vomit. It might have smelled like vomit, to be honest. I can't really remember. It's obviously gone now because I forgot about it, but it lasted for quite a while. I let it air out for probably a week or two, and I sprayed it with like body mist. It smelled pretty rough for a little while. I don't know why. I'm gonna guess it's probably this composite material because I could smell it largely in this main compartment. But that's just something I thought you should know, and something I totally forgot about. Another problem a lot of people were having, it seems, is that their cork lid got moldy or started smelling odd. I haven't had that problem, but just make sure you're keeping it in a dry place because things are more likely to collect mold in a damp, warm spot. Okay, I hope this was helpful, and I hope if you do end up getting this storage box, you end up really enjoying it.